That's about as high as we're going to get tonight, 5 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to go down below 0. So we're off on a sub-zero test of chargers and Ioniq 5. Let's jump to it. Hey, and welcome back to Plug and Play EV. I'm Steve, and today we are going sub-zero, specifically in Fahrenheit, and for a cold weather road trip or mini trip over to test charging, different providers, different equipment and hardware in the depths of a Massachusetts winter. This is really about as cold as it gets, certainly in Greater Boston. So let's take a look at how the car performs, how the battery conditioning performs, and what we get on some of the hardware that we encounter along the way. Let's go. Just to show how brutal cold weather can be if you don't have the battery preconditioning or something to get that pack warm. Fast charging at sub 20 kilowatts. So we'll select charger, number 1, 350, start the charge. Activation, first time no problems, but a bit of a waste of time being on a 350 kilowatt station when we're only cranking out 55 here. But I'm still, I think, putting that down to the car, although we are at 64 degrees here, so starting to get it up to temperature. We'll see if it cranks up a little bit. That's clearly the 50 kilowatts is the cold temperatures. And there we go, actually hitting triple digits. Won't get much of that, but that is your battery minimum, getting up to that 68 degrees Fahrenheit. For now, as cold as it is, the battery heater and the battery itself are doing pretty well. You see the heater temperature going down as well now, so everything looking good underneath the car. ID4's finishing up. We will too as well. One point on this, this is the dead side of the mall, so aside from the mall being closed now anyway, there's really nothing you can do here. No toilets either. There's an Arby's over there if you can get to it, but that's across a pretty big road, so there's all kinds here that you could get to, but you got to run across some pretty busy roads. Okay, so a slow start on that at 45 kilowatts, but got up to 130 plus in the end. Stuck within the 22 minutes and got ourselves almost 30% back. Nice and cozy in here. Let's make sure the seat warmer's still cranking full power. And we will record these temperatures. See the battery heater going down now as well. So but we can see we've in 20 minutes of driving gone down to 70 degrees Fahrenheit and dipping below. The battery heater is already at the similar temperature, and that's going to keep on dropping. So whilst we're at this temperature, let's see if this EVgo site works. We do have one off right from the word go, so that's not a great start, but we'll plug in. We've got auto charge set up on this car now, so it's been working pretty well at other places. Haven't tried it here, but let's give it a go and see what we get. It's a shame, because to now, I'd been viewing auto charge as a bit of a win for EVgo. But regardless, we can see in the app here, Embeth, which is the one we're on, pretty quick startup loop as far as getting the app underway and firing up. That's not really fair to compare it to the Electrify America station there, because we're at a much higher state of charge here. But it is up to 200 kilowatts max, and if we were at a lower state of charge, maybe we would get closer to that. But just good to see these that fired right up. Again, we're dropping temperatures here, -2 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a shame the auto charge didn't work. Maybe I'll pull on to the next one here. Just give it a quick go. See, these all have CHAdeMO heads as well, because EVgo hasn't gone the way of Electrify America, denouncing CHAdeMO. So you're up and running within 30 seconds after activating via the app, but it would just be nice to have that via the auto charge and kind of complete that. Yeah, so BTC power, EVDSP 200-5, blah 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 blah. And does it say their lowest temperature? It does not. Usually it's around -30 Celsius or -22 Fahrenheit. But whatever the case, it works, it's all good. Let's finish it up. Okay, so no success for auto charge, but 2 out of the 3 that are lit up. Successful charge. I have no reason to believe that one wouldn't. So you've got a 75% online for EVgo here. But now we'll move on to Electrify America in Chicopee, which we done. Okay, so all the destinations are EVgo, but we are at Electrify America. We'll get plugged in and let's see. Okay, so starting up there, you can see again, it's good to have this number, because this is what's requested by the vehicle. It tells you that it's the car that's slow. We know that already. Do not want to be out there too long. So this is fairly common. We saw this on the stations before. We're starting up at this lower rate, and that's really just this reminder of how quickly the pack can cool. Because remember, we had done a good 40-45 minutes on the way to Auburn of battery conditioning, and we got the pack up to that toasty kind of 70s and 80s, and the heater was all the way up to the hundreds of degrees Fahrenheit. But even on that, it was more than an hour ago that we unplugged in Auburn, but remember we had that charge session at the EVgo there, and the pack has cooled all the way down to this 35 degrees minimum. So again, you're going to get this slow charge rate. It's going to be very hard unless you're continuously using that battery conditioning, you know, which we could have done on the way here certainly, but you know, just wanted to see how quickly it cools off, and we're not really in a desperate hurry. I will test every one of these to make sure they're working and the cold isn't affecting them as we get cooler. So everything is all set to go. Let's look at the other one just to make sure. Yeah, same complimentary session but ready. Okay, you really don't want to hang out here too long, but we'll try all of these. In fact, I can probably try that one, can't I? Yeah, because that's going to reach over there. upstate, so we won't have to move for this, hopefully. Okay, so there we go again. So this is actually after failing auto charge on EVgo. This is a plug-in charge for Electrify America because they're in free vend mode. So this is, as I say, the older Signet stations. Not super old, just previous generation. Alright, so I don't just want to test these in the 50 kilowatt range. I really should have conditioned on the way here, but I still do want to plug into both of these and see what we can get in terms of power at close to full power. So I'm going to unplug, sit and record a video here probably whilst the battery conditioning is on. We'll just navigate to a charger and get it firing on, and we'll see how long it takes us to get 52 degrees Fahrenheit up to about 70s, and we'll try and plug in at these last two. We'll try them both as the temperature drops and see if we can get ourselves a bit higher charge rate as we did in Auburn. So as we let this do its thing here and work on battery conditioning, worth noting that we can see it's actually gone down a little bit here, but at its peak just now this was pulling 8 kilowatts, and this is, remember, the combination of climate controls and battery conditioning. So this has gone down a little bit. Battery care has been above 5 kilowatts. That's about as high as we've seen it, 5.1 kilowatts. Climate is pretty steady at 1.5 kilowatts right now. And then your remainder is electronics, so up there at 7 to 8 kilowatts. But that's a decent sized draw. Now obviously battery conditioning is your own personal choice. The climate controls are not using that much. We could sit here for a nice long time with 2/3 of the battery here and at 1.5 kilowatts, keeping it pretty reasonable, 71 degrees. Once we get into the 70-75 degree range, I'll go back, plug in, and we'll see if we can first of all use these last two stations, but also get something close to the Ioniq 5's top whack. Got to a very nice and toasty, almost 70 degrees even on the minimum there, so we are going to go back. We've lost about 4%, I think that was. We were up to 68%, come down to 64% over the last 15-20 minutes. Complimentary, is it? It's weird as well, there's no, maybe it will come eventually, but there's still no charge speed requested here. But this should be good temperatures, and aside from the slightly higher states of charge, we should get everything. Okay, so not perfect, certainly not the 240 that it's capable of in ideal temperatures, but given the high state of charge and given the temperature, I think we can accept 161 peak, a healthy 140 kilowatts. We've been on for 5 minutes, so it'd be a shame not to complete the set. We'll whip over to charger 1 and see if we can get the same rate. Okay, I'm going to try and capture this one on my phone as well, so we'll just film from the car. Charging started. There we go. Okay, it was at 140 kilowatts for a second, but 4 for 4 all of these work, all online, all gave me a charge. This is just to sum it up with the -2 degrees Fahrenheit on the dash here, but the wind chill warning in Google. This is the area we're in, Springfield, Chicopee. Dangerously cold wind chills as low as 40 below zero. You don't want to be out in it with exposed skin for too long. -7 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment, and we're getting down to a low of -13 as we hit 3 AM. Supposedly -11 very soon, and here you got that feels like -30. So, you know, there's no denying it's cold, and here we are charging away. This one did 8 minutes, this one did 5 minutes, that one did 5 minutes. I think the one, well, maybe that did 3 minutes, maybe the one behind it did 5 minutes. Penultimate stop, so we can get ChargePoint in here. We'll try a paired CPE 250. Let's jump on it, see what happens. The quickest startup, and pretty easy. Tap the phone, near field communication. But you can see pack is still only at 54 degrees Fahrenheit, even with a good 20 minutes of preconditioning. So we're only going to get half power here. Amperage limited here, 700 volts is fine, but 97 amps, which will ramp up a little bit as we warm the pack continuing. I don't think I'm going to stay here because it kind of stinks. You can see it over the superchargers there. That's all exhaust from whatever the hell is back there. This is the downside of this particular plaza in this case. Although the superchargers and the ChargePoint units behind are away from the main lot, you know, it's probably not going to get iced here as much as they would if they were on the far approach there, like the EVgo ones are in the Mass Pike service plazas. It is right by where the trucks idle. Not sure why this one says in use. Maybe it's I don't know. Whatever, you can see the smoke coming across. Absolutely grim. This is about as low as we've seen as well, at -7. So no problems for the ChargePoint. CPE 250s are as reliable as ever. It gets very busy here because so much is around for people to come and charge in their lunch break, so we typically avoid this place now. But let's go for number 3, which this is. Was actually better on the ChargePoint, but we'll see. Could build up here. Double check the Torque Pro. But again, you see, just starting right up. This is an old, I think it's BTC power station. So they're nothing special. These are the original ones they put in. They haven't upgraded them or anything, but here in the -8 degrees Fahrenheit now. Good in terms of the battery average, but that battery minimum is just hanging out. You can see the gap between the minimum and the maximum's huge there. 25 degrees difference. So even though the maximum's good and it's getting up some decent temperature into those, it's the minimum that's going to be dragging us back and keeping that amperage limited for a little bit. We'll give it 5-10 minutes maybe, see how this goes. Okay, so we managed to reach 90 at 116 amps here. We should get another little ramp again soon. Minimum dragging itself up to the kind of 68, 69, 70 place where it wants to be to ramp again, to do that final ramp up to whatever it can max out at. And we've got plenty of upper limit here, having only just passed the halfway mark. So lots of space for it to go to full power. At this station, some of the power has been sporadic. People report down to the 40s and 50s on some, but again, this time of year you just don't know whether it's the people being confused about what their car can do or the station itself being derated. But we're obviously getting a gradual extra little bit of power here as we get the battery up to temperature. So this, in our case, is the vehicle limiting this amperage, so not much point in hanging around now. I think that is just the proof that, you know, these chargers, old or new, ChargePoint or EVgo or Electrify America, all work. It's been between -1 and -8 degrees Fahrenheit. Been out there standing in this. The wind chill is a killer, really unpleasant. Not something you'd want to be in too long, so something like plug and charge would be nice. You know, having that on the free vend mode was nice in Chicopee, and the quick near field tap with ChargePoint was good. Shame that the Auto Charge Plus didn't work with EVgo. That's kind of the one provider that's gone to make that happen. I have to do some more testing and playing around with that, but other than that, low temperatures haven't affected this, you know, except for trying to keep that pack warm, which has proved a real difficulty as the temperatures have plunged. Everything else is just fine, no real complaints. So